Welcome into this Tuesday edition of the Oxford Exxon podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio here today. We will discuss Lane Kiffin's press conference yesterday. His bowl practice got underway. Neal's favorite time of the year. We'll talk about some things.
Bowl practice is fine.
Bowl practice is just a bunch of nothing. They're just hanging out, just keeping the bodies warm. That's what it is.
It was even open to media yesterday. That's how top.
That's how little Lane cared about. He said, "Y'all come on, feel free.
Yeah.
The water's warm. Take it all in."
I went over there for about 30 minutes, talked to Kyle Campbell for a few minutes, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go work out.
Yeah. So
see you in a bit.
Anyway, that's that. We'll hit that. We'll talk a little bit about the quarterback transfer portal. Since Spencer Rattler headed to South Carolina, Shane Beamer using his former Oklahoma ties pretty well this week, all up in the transfer portal. So that and plenty more coming up today on the show. Show brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Get your $10 right there at the pump. All you got to do is take your phone, take a picture of the QR code that is available. And when you do that, you get sent to the app, 1,000 points in the Exxon mobile app. That equals $10. Use it right there at the pump at that time, courtesy of all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi, including the Oxford Exxon. Lunch specials $5.69 and plenty more when you're heading into town right there on that side of town. So, again, that, and we're coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it, ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He will send you a quote within 15 minutes. It's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll love the service. You'll love the product. You'll love everything about it at Clark Ford. 662-257-1900. Guest, join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the square in Oxford. Great place to grab a burger, a po' boy, appetizers. Just grab a beer, the full bar, the whole deal there at Rafters Music and Food on the square in Oxford. Also Rafters in New Albany.
So we're going to get to Kiffin in a second because I think you guys need to hear it if you haven't before we discuss it. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of difficult to contextualize completely. So
yes.
we'll do that. I did have a thought, though, and this does not matter at all, but I saw our friend Anthony Dasher, who covers Georgia for Rivals this morning. He was wishing Charlie Trippy a happy 100th birthday.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, today. Charlie Trippy, former Georgia All-American, played in the NFL for a long time, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well. And, we all know this, and I know we all appreciate it on certain days and different things, but it kind of struck me this morning. Occasionally it will just sort of hit me in the feels, and the fact of how many Americans in the 40s in their bios took 2 years off to be a fighter pilot or go to the war to combat for World War II. I don't know. Like, I just sit there and stared at it and I went, we complain about so much today and all these different things. And I'm sure that in its own way, not everybody was like, yeah, let me just go sign up. And there was plenty of angst and plenty of different things. But
sure.
The level of the country stopping and how many people joined and ended up God knows where across the world, it just sort of went, geez, it's like we see it all over the place of, that's what this guy did, or this what this guy did, or this guy did this in this area. And it's just people we know, pseudo-normal people. Just a different world. It's just kind of crazy. Like, I just kind of stopped for a minute and went, son of a bitch, a little bit.
So Carson had a soccer game last night, and then he came home and, he ate and took a shower, and I came in here and finished what he said, what he meant, and then we studied history because he has his exam today. And the last thing they got to was World War II. And you start reading the numbers on how many people died. And I stopped saying people because I think it's important to put it in context.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids died?
Yeah.
Like 19, 20-year-old boys. I guess by that point they're men, but they're boys. That, like, you study about Normandy and all that stuff. If that doesn't hit you in the feels, you need to go get your feels checked. I mean, like the Battle of the Bulge and Iwo Jima and Truman having to make that decision when he realized that the Japanese are never going to quit.
Mm-hmm.
If we just do this man to man.
Yeah, it will never end.
Well, I mean, we might lose
lives and lives. And lives and lives.
They anticipated 1 million casualties on both sides if they did a land invasion of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that? I mean, and so instead he's got to think. Always think about what Truman must have gone through his mind, because he was just the vice president.
Yeah.
And then FDR dies, and suddenly you've got this massive historic decision just sitting in front of you. And you know that weighed on him. I mean, it would weigh on. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That you're going to authorize something that's going to kill 70,000 people instantly? Like in the snap of a finger,
and not to count. Frankly, we didn't know what the prolonged would be. Of exactly how many it would.
And then 2 days later, you had to do it again because the Japanese were like, "Nope, hit me again." And then he thought he was going to have to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine what must have gone through his mind? You must feel like you're playing God at that moment. That's what we were sitting there talking about. I was trying not to get all deep into it because let's study, let's get the facts down, let's make the A on the test, because we've done pretty good this semester and it's almost over. But you start looking at those numbers and it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't know. But anyway, Charlie Trippy, 100 years old today apparently. So birthday to him. Y'all didn't think that was coming today, did you?
You never know where we're going.
From the 40s. I mean,
you never know.
We could have dovetailed that into Tom Hanks movies, and God knows what. We weren't a little more on pace today. All right, I guess let's do this. Let's go ahead and go to Lane, because that's going to set up a little bit of the show here. So Lane Kiffin spoke to the media yesterday. You probably have read about this on the site by now, but either way, it's worth the watch. So here's Lane Kiffin speaking to us yesterday afternoon in the Manning Center.
All right, so it was really good to be back out there. Our players were excited. I think kind of like we've said a lot throughout the year, we have a really special team, cool players, that love practicing, love being around each other. So it was pretty good after recruiting, after this break, all the stuff going on. To be back out there was awesome today.
Lane, just kind of following this recruiting season, and it really seems like the transfer portal has obviously become a major part of this. And just interested to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I don't think people really say it this way, but let's not make a mistake. I mean, we have free agency in college football, and the kids a lot of times go to where they're going to get paid the most. So no one else is saying that maybe, but the kids say, this is what I'm getting here for NIL, and so what we really have, it is what it is. Free agency has been created in college football. I can go, except you can't lock people into a contract. They can go at any time. So it's a new world that we're in, and sometimes they want to come to you and say, hey, I get this much money if I go there. So this is just a whole new thing to deal with.
So, Lane, along those lines, how do you manage a class when you set out? What's the balance between the high school kids, the portal, the wait and see, and all of that? How do you handle that?
They did give relief this year with the extra ones, so, and getting out on the road, there's a lot of frustration with junior college coaches. High school coaches have a lot of frustration because, they feel like kids that were right on that, bottom level of getting the offers and going places in the bottom of the classes now aren't, because people aren't, because they're using them up on transfers. So now they got high school kids with nowhere to go where they had places. So like anything, usually when you create something to, solve this issue over here, it creates other issues. So there's a lot of issues with it. And, you got your own guys, and now you're dealing with guys that, they want to go, but you still want them to play in the game, or in practice and stuff. So now we really have guys in the free agency market going around to visits that are still practicing playing here, and at least in the NFL, there's free agent contracts, so they know what it is and they got to sign it, versus these places saying, hey, when you come here, you're going to get this much money. And then when they get there, do they really get it in a contract? So very new world.
not even sure how to ask this, but you mentioned NIL and guys coming in saying, hey, I'm getting this at school X. How competitive can you be in regards to that right now? Are you even able to address that?
You can just talk about what people have gotten, but we can't direct that. And, we're not going to sit here and make promises that you're going to come here and get this much money, because once they're signed, then they're locked in to go there, but they're not getting the money. So we're kind of staying out of that world that other people are going into.
Lane, what can you tell us about Jeff Levy's involvement with bowl preparation moving forward?
Yeah, he'll coach the game. We're happy for him. Going back to his alma mater, great opportunity for him. He's done an unbelievable job here. And so he's going to finish this thing off, which is awesome, which is kind of basically this team, like we've talked about, just no matter what it takes. You're not seeing players opt out. It's a special team, and he's a huge part of that. So he's doing work there. He'll be back later this week. And, we respect, kind of dual scheduling with him so he can get that job and do this too. Similar to what has happened. Usually it's a head coach, like being in Alabama when you get a head job or something, but we're doing it with a coordinator.
Do you have any qualities you're looking for in Jeff's replacement, and do you kind of have a timeline in mind of when you kind of want to get that job done?
I don't. We've been busy recruiting. We want to make the right hire. So I really don't have any information on that, except for those are big shoes to fill. He's done a great job.
I saw a little bit of practice this morning. It looks like y'all were putting a focus on maybe some of the younger guys, getting them reps. Can you just kind of give us an overview of when things will shift to game preparation, things like that?
Yeah, we're going to practice for 2 days, then have Wednesday off, so there's not too many days in a row because they've missed a lot of days. So this is really more like a training camp, giving everybody opportunities and stuff. Then it'll be kind of a middle ground, and then obviously get closer to the game, more game planning.
If you had any conversations with any players about opt-outs and just kind of in general, how do you approach those conversations when they come up?
Yeah, we've had 0. So, and I would assume we won't have any based off of, people practicing today. So I think that says a lot about this team, and these guys, how serious this is, how important it is. And, you get to go play in the Sugar Bowl with a chance to win the Sugar Bowl and win more games than has ever been done in the history of the school. That's a pretty cool thing to be a part of.
I just wanted to ask one more thing about the portal. With that thing being so much in play now, and you alluded to it as free agency, does it diminish signing day, and does it stretch the recruiting season for a particular class out into the spring and even beyond?
I think it totally does, because there's no transfer signing date. They don't sign an NIL again because they've already signed one. So there's not really a system in place there to say, okay, hey, here they're going to all sign Wednesday. So they're, still going in. They're going to keep going in. I'm sure they're going to go in after their bowl games. Every day someone new goes in. So I don't think signing day will be as big as it used to be, because you're going to, that's basically your draft class, but then you're going to have your free agent class. So, it's just going to be really different. And there's not going to be a date to know your free agent. Free agency doesn't end. So, like our starting center showed up in August, whatever it was. New deal.
Are you in favor of a transfer window, meaning where whatever date is arbitrarily assigned, that's the last day that someone could come in and be eligible to play that season?
Yeah, there's got to be something. I'm sure there will be. It's just, just like right now, you're practicing for bowl games. We have a player not here today because he's still on his official visit to another place. Just really think about that, and so very, very strange, or I leave a recruiting weekend this weekend to fly really quick to go see someone that's at another school. So, but it's in the portal. So it's just, it's very, just a lot of things happening from what initially, was a good idea to help the kids. And I've said this before, it's going to happen more than ever. This sounds great for the kids. There's going to be thousands of kids in the portal with no scholarships and nowhere to go. So they basically gave up their scholarship and they're going to have nothing because they're advised that they're going to have all these things and they're really not.
That was Lane Kiffin yesterday. The player he was referencing, by the way, there at the end was Momo Sonogo, who was wrapping up an official visit at TCU. His flight back was on Monday. His visit stopped on Sunday night, but his flight back was Monday.
DeMarcus Thomas, also South Alabama, I believe.
And is playing in the game,
yes.
or dressing for the game.
Correct, yes. He is on the active roster for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one question we keep getting asked. No, you can be in the portal and still play with your team. That does not eliminate you from any participation at all. I mean, Jamar Richardson jumped into the portal in like week 8, and he played on special teams in at least a couple of the final games in regular season. I mean, they still used him. So
yeah.
Now, what it does do is give the school the opportunity to drop your scholarship immediately if they so choose. They do not have to.
Right.
But they are giving the option to cut you from a monetary
And they're basically keeping
standpoint.
those guys through the semester.
Yeah,
So
nothing in January.
They'll get
obviously.
they got their December payment, and they'll get,
and they got their other thing that had the Austin decision money.
And they'll get the bowl per diem and their bowl swag, and they deserve to play the game. They were with the team, and if you treated it like DeMarcus did, I'm told, pretty up front,
all good.
It's all good.
Yeah. So if they need him, they will use him during the game. So keep up with some interesting stuff there, but we'll get in a second. I'm going to take a quick break because I don't want to stop 2 minutes into it. So I'll tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. All underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. So you're getting local underwriting and understands your market, a leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth. Let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. Also brought to you by The Rogue. The Rogue is your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylist hand-select pieces from top designers. From work to lifestyle to nightlife, there's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or at therogue.com. Brought to you by Alpha Specialties, 1670 Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. They are your trailer-specific professional. If you want to haul it, they can call it at Alpha. It's the premium trailer dealership in Mississippi. If you have trailer needs of any sort, whether it's purchasing, repairing, service, or whatnot, get in touch with them, 601-932-9798 or alphaofms.com. A service specialist is recruiting both an executive director and a director of sales for a brand new independent living community in Oxford, seeking individuals with strong sales experience and or extensive managerial, administrative, operations, execution background. Senior living experience is preferred but not required. So those of you that want to move to Oxford and lead the opening of a major business development with a successful company, this is your opportunity. Excellent pay, excellent benefits, referral fees always given. Reach out to 662-832-5138 with interest. I'll have a mailbag up tomorrow. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. Whitney sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844. And we're brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com.
I guess it's brought to you by Nick's Tan and Associates, nickstanoxford.com, 662-281-1200. Let them help you on the buy side or the sell side of real estate here in the Oxford-Lafayette County area. I've used them multiple times. Just give them a chance as well. Clay DeWeese, Keith Graham, their team of associates will assist you, again, any single day with all sides of the process. 662-281-1200 or nix10oxford.com. Okay, so a lot there. Couple different things, because I see some confusion here. He was talking about NIL, and look, NIL is not even necessarily complicated. It's still new. People are still trying to figure out exactly what it is, what it can do. And then third, how much it's going to be legislated from an NCAA standpoint. Most do not believe very much at all because they have no teeth, but that's at least a consideration for people as they move forward.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't either.
I mean, how do you do that?
It's not even an NCAA legislation. So, and this is a guess. This is a guess. This is a guess. This is a guess. But I told Neal this when we had the mics off a second ago. Lane talked about how you can mention what other people have gotten, but you can't promise or you can't guarantee NIL. And the reasons for that and why he said that is because the way NIL works is the school cannot assist with it. The school cannot set up payments. The school cannot officially do things that create NIL opportunities for student athletes.
Correct.
But what is happening in recruiting with a lot of schools is they are telling guys, hey, when you get there, we're going to have this set up for you, and this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. It is my guess that that Kiffin was speaking to Kentucky when he was saying that.
Oh, you think so?
I have a hunch that Kentucky was between the bullseye there as Lane was talking, because Kentucky has been fairly public with its as public as you can be for illegal recruiting, setting up NIL options for players if they will commit and then once they commit. And now this isn't going to be really legislated to the point of the NCAA, in my opinion. Where this is going to be legislated is if they don't come through, the players start talking and you piss a lot of people off. Just like you would piss people off in illegal under-the-table recruiting if the payments don't come through.
That happens at places too.
That's affected position groups at multiple schools multiple times. So
did that get tweeted about? That didn't get tweeted about yesterday, though, right?
It did not. No, that was not part of the ghosts that are going on around here.
Daddy, I just want to be a bulldog.
I mean, lifelong dream. So. Yeah, I think he was speaking to Kentucky. I think that what Lane is saying is, look, we're trying to be careful here because you can't, it's kind of like a fundraiser when everybody does all the pledges and you go, hey, I got 100% pledged. Well, okay, how much money is it? Like,
yeah,
what the checks come through? Like,
sure.
Because the pledge percentage does not equal money percentage ever.
Oh, no.
It is not 100, no matter what.
Never.
So that's kind of what's going on right now. They're doing a lot of NIL pledging around the country and going, hey, look, we're going to make sure you get $160,000 over the 4 years in NIL. I just threw that number out for the hell of it. Something along those lines.
What was the number again?
$160,000 over 4 years just popped in my head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like things along those lines. And look, they're finding ways to do it. Businesses, whatever. And it's not illegal to do it in any way. It's illegal to promise to do it.
It's illegal to.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It's against the NCAA regulations to use it as a recruiting inducement. And some schools are just completely going off the rails on that. I mean, just to hell with it. Which is kind of a thumb at the NCAA, and the NCAA supposedly is investigating some of these schools.
Mm-hmm. Now, good luck.
Good luck. So I don't know whether Kiffin was frustrated yesterday at other schools.
I think he was frustrated at other schools. He was also – he would like to have a better – this is, again, my guess. I don't know. I'm reading – I'm doing the what he might think thing a little bit
Sure.
Here. He wants the ability to get some NIL done with his current players, so then he shows those to recruits. He wants to be able to go, hey –
well, that's the legal way.
Well, exactly. He wants to be able to go, hey, look, here's what Tylon Malone as a big-time defensive lineman is getting. So here is hence something that that I can make that connection easily. You tell Dylan Gabriel, hey, look at Matt Corral's crypto thing and his autograph thing and all those things, and you're that. That is legal, and that is something you can do. It's just the random, hey, look, Coca-Cola's over there, and we're.
But when I asked him, hey,
whatever.
I asked, can you compete? Essentially, and he didn't mind the question. But he really couldn't answer it because I think the answer to it was right now, not really.
Well, for two reasons. One, they don't have a ton of public NIL things that are there. They don't have the system that Texas has with the charities in place yet and all those things. Now, look, in saying that, out of the 130 schools, 126 are probably behind. But
well, yeah,
nonetheless,
sure. So Jay and I were doing G-Pitch yesterday, and Jay was saying Auburn's behind on this.
Yeah. And then the way that Ole Miss, and I'm being very general here because I don't want to misspeak, and I don't want to misspeak, is that they essentially, a lot of schools, including Ole Miss, are trying ways to set up, and when I say Ole Miss, I don't mean officially, I mean people around the school, are trying to set up systems to allow donations, to allow different things under business names and through collectives.
That would be distributed across the roster. Would
distribute in multiple different ways, creatively or just across the roster. And Ole Miss is moving along there quickly. I mean, I think it's in place fairly soon, but it's not in place today, and it's not in place for this. And I think what Kiffin is saying is that, look, we're trying to be very careful to not create a bad reputation when a lot of these pledges do not come to fruition. Most do not believe Kentucky is going to be able to fill all the things they are promising right now, and then whatever that happens from there. And I keep getting stuck on Kentucky. I don't know.
You just keep mentioning them.
I just throw names out. And then next, he would like a system in place quicker to actually do it the way he wants to do it. So he's being careful and he's frustrated.
What's the name of that food that's so popular in Kentucky? It's a hot brown. Is that right?
It's a hot brown, yes. Yeah.
You ever had one? What is it?
It's kind of like I think it's turkey. It's like turkey and gravy on a bread thing.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
A hot brown, you said.
That is correct. From that hotel in Louisville. I think it's Louisville.
A hot brown.
Yeah. That is stick in your head.
For some reason, I just was thinking about that.
Okay. Yeah. Turkey meat, bacon, Mornay sauce. Yeah,
okay.
I remember turkey.
Okay. I just couldn't think of what it was called.
Yeah. There was a barrier in my mind to get there. I couldn't remember it for a second.
A barrier?
Barrier. Kentucky basketball has literally a crypto system in place to pay the players with
on the current roster.
Internet money. Yes, that is correct. Yes.
But if they're on the current roster, that's okay.
No, it's completely legal. It's actually genius because that allows you to go, hey, I can just get on the roster. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
But the problem is you can tell a recruit, hey, these guys are making X. If you sign here, you'll make X too. But only because they're already making it. You can't go, hey, if you come here, Mr. Green or Mr. White or Mr. Yellow or Mr. Brown, if you come here, you're going to make $160,000 over 4 years just as a random number. You can't do that.
Yeah, the best players just want to play at Kentucky. You know, Duke just they might offer some, but I don't want to. I don't want to be a Blue Devil. I want to be a Wildcat.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play in Rupp.
Yeah,
I want to play for Coach Cal. I do enjoy a little bit that Kentucky's in the football business. I mean, it is kind of interesting that suddenly they go, you know what, this 9-win thing's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Hey, how do we get a little of that coin? And then Cal's going, hey, you're not taking from. Hey,
yeah.
All right, whoa. Like, where is that coming from?
That's never happened at Ole Miss.
Oh.
You think the football coach at Ole Miss ever got a little bristled at the basketball trying to maybe work some things out? That wouldn't happen, right?
Hand raised guy, right? Goes, hey, yeah, that's cute and all, but cut that out. Like, that's.
Can Malik play corner?
Used to work in compliance. I'm reading from the stream, and people on my podcast are going to hate me because I'm not doing anything to set up. But worked in compliance? I got questions.
I know, I do too.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's what I think that's. And listening to it for a second time, because I was a little in shock the first time, if I'm honest. I don't know that I listened to the words. I was like, what's he doing? And I didn't necessarily
Kiffin?
I didn't necessarily go back as easy. The second time, I think he is speaking to teams. I think he is saying, I have a way I want to do this, and it is not in place to do it that way. And I don't want to do it that way because worst of all in recruiting is reputation.
Yes.
And I don't want to get a bad reputation. That is not.
Oh, no.
No. Don't do anything that gets the bad reputation.
You do not want to promise and then not deliver, and the word gets out. It's hard to overcome that. Yeah, it was funny yesterday. I was kind of glad. Carson had a game. I wasn't done. Carson had a game, and so I went to his game, and it kind of gave me a chance to think a little bit. And when I came back and I looked at the quote, I'm like, okay, what did he mean? And I just stared at it for a few minutes. I didn't finish till like 8:30 because I stared at that question for 15, 20 minutes. And I'm still not exactly positive what he was saying, but I think you're right. I think he was sending a message to other teams. He was also
or frustrated at other teams. I don't know that he necessarily expected Mark Stoops to listen to his podcast or to his interview. But
right. But I think he thought when he said, hey, about players getting paid, I think he thought that might be hot enough to go viral.
I'm not hearing anything in the background. Do we have something in the stream that's causing it?
I hear what they're talking about. I have absolutely no idea what it is. It doesn't.
You can hear it?
It's very, very faint.
Oh, that little bitty hum?
Well, it sounds kind of like a helicopter miles and miles and miles away, and I have no idea what that is.
That's a good description because I wouldn't have come up with that. That's good.
Very faint, and only in my right ear, not in my left. No clue.
So it's some kind of mono thing, it's not stereo.
It's my guess.
Okay. Anyway.
Certainly can't fix it right here.
Yeah, Memphis basketball never cheated, Ginger, ever. They never paid anybody. No, completely.
No, absolutely not.
God, can you imagine having to be a compliance officer at Memphis when Cal was there? I think you just throw your hands up and go.
Hope we don't get caught.
Yeah. This is going to be fun while it lasts.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
And then, pow. Yeah, it's super faint. I don't know. I'll try to cut it during the actual podcast part. I can go in and try to isolate it. It's one of those times we probably need Jeffrey around because he's a little better at that than I am.
Yeah, I have not touched anything. But no clue. No clue. I mean, what do you do?
Oh, Ryan says it's always there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, I don't put the headphones on. So
today, I wear them all the time. Today's the first day I've heard it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just thought maybe it was our computer's way of celebrating, helicopters in recruiting. I don't know. Look, I also think it's possible, not to be Debbie Downer here, that he was laying the groundwork for some of this might not go the way we wanted it to go Wednesday. Some of this might not go the way we wanted it to go in the transfer portal, and here's why. Let me get ahead of this before Wednesday so it doesn't sound like excuses on Wednesday, so it doesn't sound like sour grapes on Wednesday. Let me get ahead of this. I do think you have to at least entertain that possibility.
And it has to feel transfer portal related because unless there is something that I am unaware of, which is certainly possible, I don't see of any crazy bad scenario between now and Wednesday, given what we know relative to what we expect.
Well, not with high school kids.
It has to be portal related.
Like they got in on Derek Moore late, and
if he picks Michigan, okay, great.
It's not like a stunning upset. The portal is interesting though. Look, they wanted to get in on Rattler and they couldn't. They want Dylan Gabriel badly, and I don't know. There's a lot of buzz about UCLA. I don't know whether that's people guessing or whether people know something. But if they don't get Rattler and they don't get Gabriel, and you're having to kind of roll the dice on a Cameron Ward, it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. And I'm sure for him it's a frustrating thing because I think they thought last weekend when Dylan Gabriel was on campus that they were going to get him. And they still might. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, he left UCLA without committing to them either.
Right.
And there's frustration on the UCLA side because they think part of it's because UCLA still has a quarterback. I mean, the guy hasn't left.
Dorian Thompson-Green.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
DTG.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, it's like, well, I mean, he ain't doing whatever. He's going to leave, but he keeps not doing it.
Well, and listen, there's like a debate in the thread about is this excuses or facts. If you're not getting guys because of NIL and you state this is because of NIL, it's not an excuse, it's a fact. Lane Kiffin can't go out and make people donate. It does come back to a basic thing. At the end of this, no matter whether they get Dylan Gabriel or they don't get Dylan Gabriel, whether they land a great class or whether they land a mediocre class, at the end of this thing here, I do think this, and you and I, you're probably like, oh my God, you're going to go here. I do think this. I do think Lane's going to have to get out among people with potential to raise money, and I think he's going to have to press the flesh in a way that he doesn't like, and in a way that he would prefer not to do, and in a way that he is super uncomfortable. I just think that is a Southern thing.
He would like, and look, I'm assuming again, but Ole Miss was always, from an NIL standpoint, going to need to create, I hate the word because the connotation, but a network of sorts that takes individual donations and pulls them together. And Ole Miss could make that very profitable and doable in an upper tier way from an NIL standpoint. But look around. Ole Miss was never going to be the school, like a lot of SEC schools, frankly, that was going to get the businesses that are to come in and do these huge NIL packages and different things. I mean, it was just never going to be a plan that C-Spire was going to suddenly do $500,000 and start doing all sorts of stuff.
I've dealt with C-Spire. I can tell you, C-Spire's not going to do anything with Ole Miss that it won't do with Mississippi State penny for penny.
Yeah.
So you get into that deal, and then they're probably going, well, we got to do it for Southern Miss too, and then we got to do it for Alcorn or whatever. Let's just not do it.
Yeah.
Having never even been in the C-Spire boardroom, but having dealt with C-Spire, that place is paralysis by analysis. How they get anything done is beyond me. And if you work at C-Spire, I'm sorry. It's the truth. It's my experience with you.
Yeah, we've gotten down the road with them.
I've gone down the road with C-Spire so many times, and it is paralysis by analysis. So that kind of thing doesn't happen. So you're left with needing individuals to donate their money.
Yes.
To someone to manage that money. And typically it's very difficult to get individuals to do something without a little bit of lobbying.
Got a thought on it. We'll do it in a second. Because I'm kind of might get down a bit of a tangent when I go there in a second. We'll go to break. We'll come back to that. Anything else from the press conference? Just a quick thing. That was kind of it. Levy's going to coach in the game. You heard that.
Yeah.
He'll manage it. It will be fine.
Yeah.
It will be fine.
The Levy thing is fine. He's coming.
It's a bigger problem to Oklahoma than Ole Miss. It has no impact on Ole Miss whatsoever. It doesn't have a positive or a negative impact on Ole Miss.
I was told Jeff's coming back later this week. I'm sure they've already done some game plan stuff. He'll come back. He'll refine his game plan. I promise you, Jeff Levy is motivated to kick Baylor's ass.
He will be locked in.
If you don't think that Jeff Levy wants to beat Baylor by as bad as he can beat Baylor, you don't understand that story. And I don't care if he sits in the press box, decked out, sitting in the press box in the Sooner Schooner or whatever it's called. He wants to beat the out of Baylor. Trust me. And then on top of that, Lane wants him to do it. Matt wants him to do it. He's going to do it. It's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. It will all be okay.
It's just going to be
There's
fine.
just been no negative out of it.
He's going to come back. I think it's Thursday or Friday. The signing day's tomorrow. He's going to come back probably Thursday.
Yeah, look, businesses are not benefiting from NIL hardly at all. It's literally just to help the schools and the players. It's not about, hey, do we get our investment back in this? It's just podcast brought to you in part by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.com. Go to the events page, see everything going on locally this week and every week. Again, hope you enjoyed Holly Jolly Holiday. We'll have some pop-ups here once the calendar turns to 2022. Double-decker, not too terribly far away, back in its normal high time slot in April, and much more. So where to eat, where to stay, what to do, and plenty more. Always things going on locally for residents or guests into town. Again, visit oxfordms.com/events.
We're also brought to you by Opa, Oxford's newest restaurant on the historic square. It's a delicious menu featuring gyros, wraps, kebabs, fresh redfish, lamb chops, and more. Handcrafted cocktails, frozen libations, an amazing candlelit patio. All of that at 306 South Lamar, just south of the Square Courthouse. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated. You're thinking about going to the Caribbean. You're thinking about going to Europe. You're thinking about your summer vacation. You want to make sure that you create a special trip that is one that results in a lifetime of unique memories, and John can help you do that. Just give him some parameters. Give him a budget. You don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. He's going to come up with a ton of options just for you. 901-494-3387. J. Edwards at Regency travel.net. We're also brought to you by Pinnacle. Pinnacle provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. Brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, it's next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, it's okay. Go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Whether you're home gating with friends and family or tailgating in Oxford, the College Corner has you covered for game day. The largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. Also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call 662-429-4429. And we're brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry. Lammon's 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for almost 75 years. From engagement rings to wedding rings to fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry, children's jewelry, collectibles, and more, Lammon's is the gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777.
Podcast also brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They are on South Lamar in Oxford or on the square in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and offer medicine, free prescriptions the same day each month, and take care of you. So whether it's one trip to the pharmacy, one delivery, they have everything you need when you need it on the day of the month that you do. So use your local pharmacy, get the extra benefits that come with that. Again, 662-236-2222. Yes, it is the Potato Log logo on my shirt. Let's see where we at. Okay, so what was I talking about? Lead me back into that.
I'm not sure.
Somebody help me. What was I talking about? Because I know I was about to go down the road, and I'm not sure what it was. It's the same logo that's in the corner there.
Yeah, it's the Potato Log.
Yeah, mpwdigitalshop.com. You can have it too.
He has a life of his own.
He does.
Yeah.
All over the place. It's like, where's Waldo? Yeah, what was I talking about? I mean, seriously, somebody in the thread help me.
Something about recruiting.
Well, duh, I know that.
NIL and stuff.
Yeah, it was something. And I was like, hey, let's tease that because I'm going to come back to it in a second. And then
That's what you get for teasing it.
I'm literally like writing down, and I did not write down that. So I don't know. My mind is gone. We're 30-second delay, so I'm sure somebody will remember and tell me in a second, and then we'll do it. We'll go from there.
They may not have been listening either.
I mean, if that's the case, we'll just move on. We'll talk about something else. I mean, I got some other stuff, but I don't remember where I was going or what Lane was talking about at that moment. It was something he was mentioning, but I'm out on that. So I seriously have no idea what I was talking about. I did a really, really poor job. I was not talking about hot browns, portal guys. I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue. Portal deadline does need to know.
It's a transfer window.
Happen.
You need to put
there needs to be a window on the portal.
You could even put 2 windows in place, but you need windows.
But is it really going to move on? Like, is it going to create its own window to some extent anyway?
I don't know. Not right now.
Is that legislation that actually?
Well,
because you're not. But okay, I guess my point is, what are we trying to guard against with that?
Oh, you were talking about something about Lebby. I was going to say I've even heard Lebby is still helping Ole Miss to some degree with Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, definitely not hindering there at all.
No, he has no interest at all in doing anything.
He would like Caleb Williams to just stay at Oklahoma and Dylan Gabriel to go to Ole Miss.
Sure. And frankly, that was
if
the
he
reason.
Had his druthers.
That was the reason they wanted him in Norman, was they wanted him to sit down with Caleb Williams over and over and over and convince him that he's the guy.
Yeah, I did a poor job of setting it up, obviously, because nobody has any idea what I was going to talk about, and none of that was it. So my fault. I should have written it down or remembered. But
Kyle, thank you. He says, my son loves the Potato Log shirt. He tells everyone that he's drinking apple juice to his friends at school. You know what? Could be.
We didn't say it wasn't.
It could
apple
be.
Juice.
I mean, there's no indication that that's not apple juice. The potato is drinking what the potato wants to drink, and that can be whatever you want that potato to drink.
Chris, that's actually a really good question. Yeah, there will be no podcast tomorrow morning because of signing day.
Yeah.
We've never done one on the Wednesday of signing day. It's just too much stuff is in flux. We're potentially doing too many things to concentrate, and things could go obsolete as soon as the show is over. So it does not make sense.
Lane's got a press conference at 2. We're gonna try to turn something around really fast. I can't promise because, frankly, I've got to be in Starkville tomorrow at 6:30. So we got to get done by 4:30. So maybe we'll try.
Yeah. Yes. Terrence Cooks is headed to TCU. I think that's probably a loss that's a loss for Ole Miss. Somebody they targeted. They got on a visit. Now, I will say they have done a better job than maybe they thought at the moment of getting linebackers out of the high school level. So that doesn't help immediately necessarily like Cooks would have, but they have picked up, assuming that things go well with Banks and with Willis on Wednesday.
And it sounds like it will.
Yeah, that's not as big of a deal as it would have been the other way as well. So I think that's worth noting there with him. But nonetheless, yes, that's a.
There's going to be. I said this yesterday, so I don't want to be super repetitive. But there are going to be guys that enter the portal after bowl games that haven't entered it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be new guys in the portal. There were new guys in the portal yesterday. Like Calzada entered the portal yesterday, which was a weird day to enter the portal, but he did. Bo Nix is in the portal. The guy Keaton Slovis is in the portal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of guys in the portal. There will be guys that enter the portal in January. There are going to be guys that enter the portal in March and April after spring is over when they realize this is not good. This is not what I want to do. And then who knows? There might be guys like Umana that enter the portal in the summer. I mean, he fell into Ole Miss's lap last year. That could happen again. It's impossible to know.
So you would like to create 2 windows, potentially one that went through maybe the active period before the dead period started, stop it, and then bring it back for a little bit?
Yeah.
Around February?
Yeah. Bring it back in after spring. Have windows where, hey, you've got to – the problem is they don't sign anything.
Just scholarship papers.
So I don't know where you go.
Now they do count, however.
Well, it's the risk, right? So we were talking about this Sunday. If you can have, like, for example, let's say that Ole Miss were to sign, let's use Dylan Gabriel. Ole Miss gets a commitment from Dylan Gabriel, okay? And you get him to sign SEC scholarship papers, which prevents another SEC school from recruiting him. But then let's say that UCLA creates a new NIL stream and gets him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he signed, which means now he counts as one of your 25 for a year.
Yes.
That's a risk you just can't take.
It's the same risk as we were talking about yesterday with those guys signing the scholarship papers, is that you got to be careful to not let dudes sign scholarship papers in that early window before you actually sign the NIL, because you were committed to them, but they weren't committed to you. So like C.J. Hampton, he signed Alabama, Florida State, Ole Miss. Well, all those schools were locked into having to give him a scholarship if he signed with that school, but then he still had flexibility to do whatever it was he wanted to do. It's very similar here.
Yeah. By the way, they said you were talking about funding.
Yeah, and I just don't remember. I don't know. Again, I know Ole Miss is doing a lot. It had to go on an individual level. They've done that. They've tried to get some businesses involved. I think it is moving along pretty quickly once it kind of got started. And this is just kind of coming from this is anecdotally, and maybe all schools are like this. I'm not even saying this is necessarily something behind with Ole Miss. Is you would like for it to be kind of all pulled in one direction. I feel like there are multiple groups right now, all kind of at the same point in the process. Mm-hmm. When you would kind of like to get them around a conference table and go, okay, stop and let's have one. Let's not make this about 9 of us doing the same thing and whatever. So I guess in some ways it all ends up in the same place, but it feels a little disjointed because I know of at least 3 that are trying to all move sort of at the same pace right now. And you would like for that to be one, I would think, if it was all getting your druthers. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of said it was something I may not have even verbalized. I might have just had it in my head, and I never even told you guys. So, whatever. If I think of it, we'll quarterback. I don't know.
You're a little young to be this scattershot, you know?
I mean,
Like,
again,
for me, I have a good excuse.
I'm really frustrated because like I write down stuff the entire show and I gotta come back to it and like I don't know. It went right out the top of my head.
I don't even write it down because I could write it down and forget what the hell I was talking about.
You could like do the shorthand and go, yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was.
No idea. Yeah, no opt-outs that we're aware of is the only other thing.
No opt-outs. Everything's good. It's a happy team.
Oh, the team. Yeah, I mean, from a straight team standpoint.
Kiffin loves the team. Kyle Wilson sent me a picture of his 5-year-old son wearing the potato log T-shirt.
Oh.
He models.
That probably is a conversational piece in kindergarten.
It has to be. And you know what? He's drinking apple juice.
Who says it's not apple
It's
juice?
apple juice. What he's drinking? Potatoes like
It's
apples.
judgmental to say he's not drinking apple
Damn
juice.
right. What are you accusing him of being an alcoholic? I mean, he does look a little drunk, but he is riding a potato log through like hyperspace. He might be a little dizzy.
But we have water. We don't think he's like just surfing off the. You think he's in hyperspace?
He's on water, but there's no indication that there's anything around him. He's like he's off and
So the water is part of the contraption potentially. Like
potentially. That's what makes maybe the water powers the log. Because God knows we would be environmentally friendly.
good, very green around here.
Very green.
Rattler to South Carolina, not a surprise.
No.
It's Gabriel. It's whatever's going on with Cameron Ward at this point. He's patient, I think, is a fair term
He
there.
seemed to be waiting on something on Sunday, or waiting on some things. I think he made a point to say that he wanted to see who else called his phone. He just entered the portal on Thursday. Ole Miss acted quickly, so he visited. But I think he wants to see what else Ole Miss does. I think he wants to see what other options are out there for him. You know, it's easy to go, hey, why don't you come be the backup for a year and we'll develop you. It's a promise. That's another promise, right? That you're, okay, but what if? He probably wants to go someplace where he's the guy. But I don't know that. And then Jay and I were talking yesterday on G-Pits about Bo Nix, and Bo's dad, Patrick, wants to get into coaching, is a potential candidate for a job at a couple Sunbelt places, and Bo would go with him. And do I think that's kind of crazy? Yeah, but look, it's transfer portal stuff. I mean, Bo Nix might think going to Troy would be a good move for him.
I had a buddy mention this yesterday, and it's kind of remarkable. You look at Patrick Nix's career. Obviously, played at Auburn in the early to mid '90s, and then makes the rise as well as pretty much anybody can who looks like they're a hot commodity moving along. I mean, he's a guy who he was the Georgia Tech offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, and running backs coach, which is a lot of titles for one dude, from 02 to 06. He coached Calvin Johnson. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about some dudes. He ends up at Miami as the offensive coordinator in 2007, 2008. Obviously does not go well.
Right.
He's out of coaching for a year in 2009, resurfaces at Charleston Southern as a wide receivers coach for 3 years, and then has a bunch of high school jobs.
Yeah.
Once he fell out of it, he fell completely out of it. You don't see that level of that. Usually when you get, in a lot of careers, but especially coaching, when you get that second job, typically you're kind of good, and you sort of can hang on and run that reputation for a while. But that wasn't the case. He sort of was gone after that.
Grind says Bo Nix's dad is going to take the Hoover High School job. Could be. I don't know. I don't pretend to be informed on that. I was taking Jay's word for it.
Where did Josh Nibble or whatever go, the Hoover coach? Where's he headed?
I don't know.
He stepped down the other day.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not up on that? You're the Alabama guy. We're supposed to have some. Grind, where is Nibble going? You'll know. What's going on? Isn't it Nibble? Something like that?
Something like that.
I don't know. Something like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to just really bite my tongue right now.
Oh, are you?
Hard.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about something else?
Just got nothing.
Gainesville, Georgia, somebody says. Okay,
Oh, good for him.
fair enough. What?
Nothing.
You're not going there?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. You did not see this. I'm not too far away from break. Mike Gundy having to come out and respond to what appears to have been some level of hoax in the Florida email system. You not see this?
No.
At all?
No.
All right.
I told you yesterday I did Lane Kiffin's thing, came back here, worked for a while, and then I went to Carson's soccer game, and then I came back and wrote and then studied World War II.
All right.
I missed all the real world stuff.
Okay, so this is just kind of funny more than anything else. Andy Witchery of Warner Media, no idea, tweeted out screenshots of an email he obtained via a Freedom of Information Act request suggesting that Mike Gundy showed interest in Florida's opening. And essentially I guess what Witchery did was just sent out an FOI asking for all correspondence related to the Florida head coaching job to Scott Strickland, a pretty normal thing that media does, just to see what's out there.
What's
You're
out
just
there.
playing more than anything else.
Yep.
So he gets back this thing that says he reported the email came from Devin Bonick and was sent to Florida Athletic Director Scott Strickland. A little background here. Gundy was actually interested, or Gundy went to some level down the road with Florida in 2017 when Mullen was hired.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning Scott Strickland is very aware of Mike Gundy. He would not need an introduction to Mike Gundy in any way.
No,
and frankly, because he's good at his job, he would not need an introduction to Mike Gundy in this way.
Sure.
The email stated that Gundy was very interested in the Florida job that has since been filled by Billy Napier. Also says that Gundy, quote, feels the timing is now right to make a career move to a special place like Florida. Bonick said he represented Gundy in the email. Gundy has mentioned multiple times he does not have an agent, including having to come out yesterday and say that. It is a really long email that even has PowerPoint stuff very similar to a PowerPoint I've seen from a buddy at one point. It's actually a very similar thing. Has like all these things about their Power 5 things and the wins and all this stuff.
Can we get that PowerPoint to a former chancellor? Because he loves those things.
Miss Invitter one?
Well, it's Christmas time. What a gift that would be.
He did like that one.
Hey, Jeff, here's another PowerPoint for you, buddy.
2 years later to then do things with.
Remember that time that he and his wife got in the press box elevator with us and she just glared?
Not a fan.
She was
not a fan.
She is not wearing a potato log sweatshirt.
You don't think so?
No chance.
He told me happy birthday on Facebook the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I think I don't even remember when we had a friend request or anything, but I'm assuming that he's one of those guys that tells everybody every time, like everybody gets up in the morning, and that's like one of his 5 or 6 routines is to see who's.
It's funny, we're not Facebook friends.
You're not?
No. I think he got into a super system and deleted my name more than anything else.
So point being, it appears that this dude represents Gundy in no way. I don't know who he is.
Okay.
It says in there Gundy's turned down Arkansas, Florida State, and Tennessee twice, which a lot of that is actually true. 2 things. Mike Gundy knows Devin Bonick. He said he's in our circle. A lot of people know him.
Yeah.
As for the email, Bonick sent Florida on his behalf. 1 thing is I never answered to Twitter. 2, I'm unaware of any email. And 3, I don't have an agent. Okay? He said all those things.
All right.
That doesn't necessarily mean he did not say that Bonick sent that on his behalf, though.
No.
So are we buying it? Because, I have 2 things.
Are we buying what?
Okay. Are we buying that Gundy was aware of this email and promoted it in a positive way to say do this? Because here's my problem. If you're doing this correctly, or the way that the industry works, no way in hell are you sending this email to a public Florida thing as a first reference to Gundy wanting a job.
No, but if he doesn't have an agent.
Well, but the guy is obviously, if it's true at all, communicating on behalf of Gundy in an agent manner.
My guess is that he's basically telling the truth, but that he was not authorized to send that email for Gundy. Gundy didn't say, hey, Mr. Bonig, send the email.
Well, because the email would be unnecessary is more the reason.
Well, you could reach out to Scott and say, hey, just so you know, Mike Gundy is interested in your job. He'd love to talk to you.
That's all you got to do. You would never go, hey, let me put this PowerPoint together and create some graphs.
No.
I mean, there are little graphs on here. Like,
oh, that's sexy. God.
It's fancy now.
Makes me want to fire a basketball coach just right there. Who's the basketball coach at Oklahoma State? Let's go fire him because that fires me up.
You good?
Oh, give me a PowerPoint, man. Whew.
Yeah, see, he's one of those. That's right. Vitter is one of those guys I think just gets up every morning and tells everybody happy birthday on his Facebook
Is that right?
page. Well, look in the thread. There's like 4 dudes that say, yeah, he tells me too. How many Facebook friends does this human
I don't
have?
know.
He must have a couple.
Do you ever get a kick out of that on Facebook? You're not a Facebook person at all, and I'm not either.
I haven't posted on Facebook in over 2 years.
I have a Facebook account in large part because I have lots of our pictures
Yeah,
from when
sure.
the kids were little.
And occasionally I need it to like reach out to people for actual journalism purposes.
Yeah. So I'll get these things like a Facebook friend request from someone I've never met in my entire life. It's like, how could we possibly be, quote, friends? Not that there's anything wrong with you or whatnot, but we don't know one another.
You would have to use it like as a Rolodex, where it's like literally it's I met that guy and here's a placeholder to go back to.
Yeah, like it's not like Instagram where someone wants to
But
follow
there's a
you.
functionality issue to that because if you're actually scanning Facebook every day, you're getting tons of things in your algorithm for people you don't know or care about.
Yeah,
So it's diluting who you actually might want to see what their kid did.
well,
that
exactly,
day or
because
anything else.
Facebook calls them friends, which is completely a misnomer.
So we need a friends and an acquaintances tab where you
a
place
friends,
them.
and then you have friends, and then you have followers.
Oh, right, and that is a thing. Yeah,
Like Twitter, you have followers. No one's accusing you of being friends because there are no friends on Twitter. Everybody just hates each other. And then you have Instagram where people follow because they want to look at your pictures or whatnot.
it's true,
But Facebook, they call them friends.
and that bothers you.
Well, yeah, when I look up and I have 1,500 friends, and in the real world, I'm not sure I've got 4. It's a different deal.
I have trimmed the list multiple times where I've unfriended a lot of people
I have too. And
to
then
try to help with
people
that.
get their feelings hurt.
I have had a couple people that I've unfriended and they'll come back and add me again. And
Yeah.
I just leave it. I don't ever decline it. I just let it sit
So you have a
there.
list of pending
a
friendship
ton.
requests.
Yeah, it just sits over there.
Does that ever bother you?
No, I'm not OCD enough for that to bother me. I mean, you would be terrified by my email. I mean, my inbox has thousands of messages. But some of it is I'm a little. I'm not OCD in 99% of the ways, but I have a couple OCD tendencies,
Mhm.
and one of them is not the mess the email is creating, but the worry that if I delete something, I won't have it just in case I need it ever again.
Sure.
So I have thousands of emails that I just go, I don't think so, but God, just in case, I can't search for it if I delete it.
See, I'm the opposite. I like to keep my mailbox perfectly clean.
Uh-huh.
And even this morning, there were some things like Christmas shopping stuff where I needed to go back and see what the deal was,
Mhm.
and I couldn't find it. I'm like, son of a.
Yeah.
You know.
See, this would drive you crazy. So I have 7 messages in my inbox that haven't been opened.
Uh-huh.
I can't find them.
What do you mean?
Well, they're like pages back.
Oh, they're forever back. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. I would have to literally scan through pages to get to. It's complicated. I need to do better. I should literally take like 500 a day and just start culling them a little bit, but I haven't. Maybe it's a summer project. I don't know, but nonetheless,
You could do it in one day,
it would take all.
but you could
day.
do it in all day.
What you want to do all day is go, I don't need that. All right, move that to this folder. Move that to this folder. Delete, 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 delete. Move that to this folder.
No,
delete, delete,
no.
delete.
You end up doing a lot of deleting, and you accidentally delete something that you probably didn't want to delete.
And then it defeats the whole purpose of why I waited 10 years
Agreed.
to do it.
And I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It's fine. If it's new, I see it at the top, and I'll delete down. Because I'll clean up like the last few days. It just there's stuff. Podcast brought to you in part by Northeast Spark, NESPARC. Service people across rural communities. 2 packages, the Ignite 100 Mbps or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone services available, parental controls, network security, a wireless mesh extender, and much more. So call the office for the best internet around. Again, 662-238-3159.
Starting to get a little late in the Christmas shopping season, but our friends at Blue Delta have the perfect gift for the season. Blue Delta has introduced their new video gift cards, a gift card with a built-in video screen. It's easy. Just go to BlueDeltaJeans.com, purchase a gift card, and Blue Delta will help you record a personalized message and upload the video card for you. Supply chain issues are a problem this Christmas, but video gift cards are a surefire way to make sure the gifts get delivered. The guys at Blue Delta sent me one of these. It's a great concept, great presentation. It's the perfect gift for a single person or group of employees. BlueDeltaJeans.com to purchase, or shoot the guys a DM on social media. They'll get you taken care of. Pinpoint Commercial Real Estate. It's based out of Jackson. They service the entire state in commercial asset classes such as retail, office, industrial, and land. They have the Paragon Center in Ridgeland as an example. 150,000 square feet of office space located on Highland Colony Parkway, minutes from the new Costco, Walk-On's Sports Bistro, and I-55. If you want to learn more about this great opportunity to house your professional office, call Sam Cox and BB Mitchell, 601-586-3220. Brought to you by ACS. My buddy Clay McNutt in Baldwin, Mississippi, owns ACS. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. If you are in need of custom HMI and SCADA solutions or large horsepower VFD specialist, ACS has you covered. They can service and install Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley, Siemens ABB Square D, and many other manufacturers. ACSLLCMS.com or 662-601-4381. It is the holiday season. Bowl games coming up, people's big trip to New Orleans, all of that. Places where you might imbibe a little bit. You want to be prepared. Game Changer has you covered. Game Changer patches are the only 2-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. You got the warm-up patch. You got the overtime patch. They work. I've used them. A lot of people have used them. You see testimonials on rebelgrove.com all the time. It's GameChangerPatch.com. And enter the promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your entire purchase. And we're brought to you by Dead Soxy. It's Holiday 2021 going on right now. 25% off any order with the code RebelGrove. 30% off any order of $120 or more with Holiday 30 as the promo code. If you order $240 or more, you get 40% off with with promo code HOLIDAY40. It's free shipping on $60 or more as well. As always, stay Soxy, deadsoxy.com. Muddy Water Camo, you can go there to muddywateroutdoors.com, enter the promo code RebelGrove, get 35% off everything. Also, you get free shipping on orders of $100 or more. Bro Throw, great place if you're betting the bowls, the NFL playoffs, NBA, NHL, whatever the case may be. Bro Throw is a social sports betting network. It's free to use. It's a really cool, fun way to bet. No third party, no juice over time. That's going to save you money. You can start your own group, make friends, invite your friends. Payment happens within 24 hours of the conclusion of your bet. You can take the other side of an existing bet, start a new bet, and more at bet.brothrow.com/MPW. And then don't forget, if you're in Oxford or Jackson, looking for a great place for lunch, for dinner, to go have a drink, just to enjoy yourself, stop by Walk-On's Sports Bistro, where they're putting everything they've got into bringing you game day with the taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, quality fresh ingredients you can't help but crave. 1737B University Avenue in Oxford, or 720 Highland Colony Parkway in Ridgeland. Walk-On's Sports Bistro, more than a restaurant.
Telling you about all the different holiday boxes available through Johnston Hill Creamery. That's johnstonhillcreamery.com, 662-419-9201. Cheese at johnstonhillcreamery.com. Right there off Molly Bar on White Oak Lane. Seeing tons, though, they're fresh cheeses. Well, you should just go in, even if you're not picking up the holiday boxes. They make them in-house, again, every single day. They use Brown Dairy Farm milk for those. And I see a couple of days ago they did their first batch of the Truffle Lady. It is out in the case. They deconstruct the wheel of their double cream Camembert Sadie Lady. They stuff it with soft ripened cheese, Lois, and mixed with freshly shaved French truffles. You can give that a try. Pick up any of their cheeses, and then those dessert boxes that we keep mentioning for the holiday season. Pick up one for a party as a gift, or plenty more. The dessert box, really cool. It's got holiday cookies, cannolis, cherry cheesecake hand pies, chocolate candies, and chocolate candied oranges, as well as the kids box. It has a lot of cool things for the kids and for plenty of fresh cheeses there every single day. Again, johnstonhillcreamery.com. let's see. I don't know. I feel like somebody made a mistake. Kind of closing the Gundy thing. I feel like he had a little more of hand in that than he's admitting, but somebody did something sort of stupid after they were given the go-ahead to do something.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
He seems like the type that just likes to see his name out there. Maybe that keeps Oklahoma
Those exist?
Yeah, they do. Maybe that keeps Oklahoma State honest. Maybe it just makes him feel wanted. Maybe he likes the attention.
He's done a hell of a job.
Sure.
I mean, he's going to look back at his career and almost be more frustrated because there's been several opportunities to kind of take that next step and get into the conversation to make the playoff, maybe if they beat Baylor. I mean, I don't think they would have gotten in anyway, but right now he's having a hard time going to sleep at night because he wonders if a half yard cost him a playoff spot.
Sure.
I don't think it would have, but
oh no,
maybe. Do they jump Cincy if they win the Big 12?
I'd lose a little sleep.
You would.
Yeah.
You think they'd have gotten in?
Kinda. Yeah.
At 4?
Probably. Get your shot at Bama.
For sure, jump Notre Dame. And
yeah, America would probably rather see the Big 12 champ than the American champ.
That's true. New mock draft out on ESPN. Aiden Hutchinson, now the number 1 overall pick, the defensive end out of Michigan, going to the Lions at number 1.
Okay.
Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end at Oregon, has been up there pretty much the entire season. He's at number 2. The mountain of a man that Neal loves, Evan Neal, number 3 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. Derek Stingley Jr., certainly a talented corner there from LSU.
Be a little scared of that.
Jets. Would you?
Hard time staying healthy.
Yeah. Charles Cross, the tackle at Mississippi State, going number 6 overall.
Are you serious?
The, Carolina Panthers.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd have to watch some tape again and go, hey.
I get Evan Neal.
Yeah.
All right, he's a bad dude.
He's a good dude. Yeah.
I mean he's a big good. I get it, but
yeah. You'd be a little terrified to take Cross as your linchpin of your draft right there.
6th pick, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 26th pick,
yeah.
In. Ooh. Keep going.
Well, it's very similar a little bit to the other direction. And hey, look, he's turned into a damn good NFL player. But after that Sugar Bowl that day, I would have had some questions about Emmanuel Ogbah after Tunsil wrecked him for a half there. And you went,
yeah.
I get Tunsil's Tunsil, but there's a lot of really good offensive tackles. Do we have a problem here? You know what I mean? Like with Cross, a couple times this season, you've kind of seen that. You go, hey, the ceiling's there, the talent's there, but I mean, Sam knocked him around a little bit the other day. I mean, there was there was some moments. So,
a lot.
I mean,
not just one play here and there.
Yeah.
Play after play after play.
Yeah. Nakobe Dean, linebacker to the Giants at number 7.
I have no problem with that at all.
You good with that?
Good.
Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons taking the Alabama wide receiver Jamison Williams.
I got no problem with that either. That kid can fly.
Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton at 9 to the Jets.
Sure.
Michigan, the other Michigan defensive end, Ajabo going 10 to the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
DeMarvin Leal from Texas A&M, number 11 to the Raiders.
No problem with that.
Lineman.
He's a stud.
And then a little a movement here. They're back-to-back, but Kenny Pickett, now the first quarterback off the board, number 12 to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay. At
number 12, and then Matt Corral, number 13. And he keeps getting linked here, no matter where they are in the pecking order, the Washington football team.
Yep.
So over and over and over again, no matter where they are on the board, I see Washington and Corral linked.
Well, I'll tell you this. If I'm Pittsburgh and Washington and I need a quarterback and they both do, Matt Corral's not dropping below 13.
And I think I agree with Ginger here. I wonder when you get in the draft board and they go, hey, guys, we need a quarterback. Just do it earlier.
This is only 5 minutes. Do you want to play Matt from yesterday?
Sure.
You telling me this is not the face of an NFL franchise?
Okay. Play it. Sure.
Here's Matt Corral from yesterday.
A little bit of time off, obviously. Feel good to be back out there in practice today. Kind of one last go.
Absolutely. I mean, the juice was good. The energy was great. Just everyone's excited to see each other and be back into the whole structure and having a regimen and just doing it, just being around the guys. I think I definitely missed it, and I know a lot of the guys did too. So it was good to be back.
How important was it for you, Matt, to have Jeff back out there when he comes back to coach through the Sugar Bowl to finish this together?
I mean, I don't even think that was like like a question whether if he was going to finish. And like I knew, we both knew. He told me. But yeah, no, it's big. It's big for me just to know that it's his last one with me and us here. I think, I definitely would rather have that than him just, be gone and like, oh, damn, I didn't know that was the last one I had with him. But just understanding that and just really, like I said, just being around everybody and having being around that camaraderie just one last time, there's seriously nothing like it. So, I'm really excited to be back and, everybody just getting back to work.
Obviously, you were in here at the end when Lane was talking about the transfer portal and all that stuff. When they're bringing in quarterbacks, obviously you're one of the selling points, your development, your progress and all of those things over the last couple of years. Do you talk to those guys much when they're here?
Well, no. I mean, I wasn't here. So, I mean, obviously if I was, I would have been the one spending time with him. But, I know some of the guys that are looking to come here. I spoke to him. I have a relationship with one of them, Dylan. Dylan's a real genuine dude. And obviously we all know he's a playmaker. And just telling everyone straight like how it is here, and just you're gonna have fun and you're gonna develop. That's what Ole Miss is. That's what that whole party in the SIP is. Like, yeah, we know how to have fun, but we do it the right way, and we get to where we want to get to because we have the people like Coach Kiffin and everyone around him and that staff that knows how to handle men like us. So they're in that process of kids turning into men. So I don't think there's any place like it.
How valuable were these 2 weeks for you getting healthy? I know you.
I think not even for me. Everyone was feeling fresh today. We had a problem today. Seven's got fresh legs. So, I mean, it was great just for everyone. It just feels like day one again. But it's really not, just knock the rust off because I know nobody's looked at the playbook. Nobody has done anything since Thanksgiving. So, it feels good. It really does feel good to be back out there.
Lane talked about having the attitude of this team of nobody's going to want to opt out of something like the Sugar Bowl. Just the talks this team had, did anyone ever think about it, or was it kind of just
I think a lot of people, just because it never crossed my mind when 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, I had a couple of the leadership came up to me and asked me, and I kind of was kind of like a curveball because I never even put any thought into it, and I didn't think I wasn't not going to play. And when they asked me, I was like, man, probably a lot of people think I'm probably not going to play on my team. And I made it a point I got nothing. I definitely wouldn't have been in this position if it wasn't for them. I'm not just going to leave just because I know what's on the other side. I know what's ahead, but I'm not. God's got me. I'm not worried about the negative part. If that does happen, then shoot, it wasn't meant to be. And that's just how I live my life, and that's how I go about it. So I'm gonna give these guys everything I got till it's over.
Matt, if I remember right with your recruitment, I mean, Ole Miss kind of became a thing for you, kind of late in that recruitment. You were committed to a couple other places. I mean, have you had time to just reflect back on your career here?
Not yet.
When will you do that?
Probably in the middle of draft training, just because I know I have one more. I have a full month with these guys left, and I know it's gonna go by like that. But it'll probably hit me at the end of the game, truthfully. But like I said, I haven't put any thought into it, probably because I don't want to think about it. But no thought's been put into it, and I know for sure it's gonna hit me like a brick for sure.
Thank you.
That was Matt Corral yesterday.
He's gotten so much more comfortable. He just
his
there's an ease about him.
His refinement as a leader is remarkable.
Yeah,
that's what I told somebody though. It's what you do. Send your kids off to college, hoping that they grow up and that they learn to communicate. They learn how to be leaders, and they learn how to comport themselves. And he has. He's done all those things, not just on the field, but off the field. In fact, I was talking to someone inside the program on Sunday who said for all that he's done on the field from a value standpoint, from what he's given them that it's 5 times that off the field. The leadership that he has provided in the locker room, in the meeting rooms, in the film rooms, off the field is remarkable. I mean, they were kind of stunned by it. As someone who's been in college football for a long time just said, it's not every day.
No.
And it's not just on the field. It's not just his production, his arm, his all of that. So if I don't know anything about Pickett. I really don't. I'm sure Kenny Pickett's a great guy. I have no reason to think that he's not. I'd have a difficult time if I'm an NFL team that needs a quarterback. I mean, it's one thing if you have your quarterback and you got a chance to get the kid from Michigan. I get it. But if I need a quarterback, it's going to be hard for me not to take Matt Corral, to take someone above Matt Corral and run the risk of living with it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about while that was playing a second ago. Ole Miss, he mentioned Sam getting fresh and healthy and being rested. The wide receivers are going to be healthy. They don't have any opt-outs. They're all kind of playing for one another. I mean, it's got – Baylor's a good team. They'll be juiced for the Sugar Bowl too. They just won the Big 12,
Sure.
All that kind of stuff. But it's got a bit of a chance for the Bears to run into a bit of a buzzsaw. I mean, I don't think I have – Ole Miss plays well in bowl games for whatever reason as a program typically. I don't really know the answer to that, but they do. They've got the best bowl winning percentage of all time.
Well, it wasn't like Oklahoma State didn't play hard in that Sugar Bowl in 2016.
No.
They wanted to be there too. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no doubt to me. I've got a couple pools. We'll do Neal's picks. I'm picking the Rebels. I feel pretty good about it that night. I just do something.
No, I've got that feeling too. Just watching them. I mean,
They're going to show.
Sure.
A lot of guys that haven't. I mean, they went to the Outback Bowl in the middle of the COVID season, but they also haven't done this. It's not like, we've been here 3 times.
Oh, no, no. I mean, his answer about the guys coming to him going, hey, are you going to opt out? It was like, no.
Let's go. Yeah.
No, he's going to play.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm an NFL team, I mean, I hear that, and it's inject this into my veins as my guy. I mean.
And somebody said it. It's a good point. Matt's happy. He is. He's a happy dude right now. Everything's going well for Matt Corral.
Sure.
So he's kind of soaking up these final days with his dudes, and then he'll move on to what's next.
I mean, Chance Campbell talked about this all year, that this was a special group, that they kind of really grew to like each other. I mean, defensively, after the Arkansas thing, they all kind of got together and said, hey, we're better than this. Let's go prove it. Mm-hmm. And as they have, they've gotten to really appreciate one another.
We'll post all over social media and on the site when we know what the plan is for tomorrow. We'll have to kind of see how it goes. It's going to be a bit of a moving target, but we will let you know there. Appreciate everybody today, obviously.
We might even just try to do a mini podcast, like a 30-minute.
Hey, here's what happened. Heads up. Peace.
Yeah,
I don't know. But either way, we'll let you know on that. We appreciate everybody in the stream. Good conversation there, and then everybody listening wherever you are. We'll try to get the ringing figured out there in the back row with the helicopters. Got a couple ideas there to give that a shot. So hope everybody has a wonderful day. Check rebelgrove.com in the meantime, and we will talk to you again very soon.